We got some Week 11 OFL football as the 6-3 Atlanta Falcons head out to Carolina to take on the 4-1 Panthers in a battle of two teams who are definitely in the mix for playoff spots. As West Lund on third down, that was an easy interception for the Falcons, just dropped. As you can see, lots of ugly football so far. And then on the punt return, Lon Carrington, it went off his head. Then he totally missed the dive for it. We're going to have to look at that one again, as it goes off his head, running for it, and he dives way forward of it. So, definitely a strange start of this game. And you like ugliness? Well, it wouldn't stop here. As on first down, Mike Evans with an easy first down, but he drops it, and then he actually gets hurt on the play as well. That'll lead to a second down, and Devontae Freeman would be wrapped up like a Christmas present. Jamal Adams with the tackle for loss, the first productive play by anybody in this game. And then 3rd and 12, that would be a lofted pass for Mike Williams, and the Falcons do convert 25 yards from Dungy to Williams, and the Falcons are starting to drive down the field. As so far in this game, whoever doesn't play worse is going to win. Here's Dungy on 3rd down and 12, scrambling like eggs on a frying pan, and he would run for the first down. Excellent run, but unfortunately, Yokes, there would be a flag holding on the offense. That whole play all for nothing. Well, one time the Falcons do something good, it just goes away. That would lead to a punt. Now Carolina has it back as Westland on 3rd down and 9. Looking deep, and that's another easy interception for the Falcons. That was just dropped. The Falcons defenders have brick hands. Last play of the first quarter, here's the former Syracuse Orange quarterback Dungy over to Julio. Hit the stretch. Julio Jones bringing it to the 28. Best play for either offense in this game, and then first down from the 10. Dungy looking in the end zone, and it would be dropped. Another easy play for the Panthers, and they just can't capitalize. 2nd and 10. Handoff for Freeman. Freeman with the juke move, untouched like weekend homework for 6. And the Atlanta Falcons are on the board. Devontae Freeman, show up the moves, young man. Falcons would take a 7-0 lead. Next Atlanta possession. Dungy would lose the juice, and T. Sizzle would recover it. Unnecessary dive, probably could have taken that a decent way, but still a turnover nonetheless. Carolina gets it back. Harrison Smith with the play. Now 3rd and 14 from the 17 as Wes Lunt looking to throw it. And Lunt would connect, but he's out of bounds as the Panthers almost had the touchdown. Nice defensive play. That would lead to a Dan the Man Bailey field goal, and the Panthers would make it a 4-point deficit, 7-3. And then next Panthers possession, they'd go for the punt. However, the punt will be blocked by Justin Reed. Take another look, as that was with about 30 seconds left in the half. Really looked like that's how the half would end, but that play basically gives the Falcons some 3 points as Justin Yoon makes the field goal, making it 10-3 with 10 seconds left to go in the half. Now second half, as so far, still lots of ugliness up to this point. Here's Todd Gurley. He would be lit up like a Christmas tree for a loss of a few yards. Rough day for Gurley, but I think it was a rough day for everyone in this game. And then 4th and 11, the field goal from Bailey is good. Once again, a 4-point game. Atlanta still with the lead. Now from the 30, here's Lon Carrington, and he loses a long amount of yards. And now on to the 4th quarter. Falcons actually driving down the field. They're actually progressing. 2nd and 3, Lon Carrington loses 2. And the Falcons would go for the 3rd down and 4 conversion, as can they get it? It would be Eric Dungy looking to throw it. Dungy has plenty of time, and he misses the throw. As that was the Falcons' perfect opportunity, then they fake the field goal. More fake than my ex-girlfriend, and Dak Prescott is unable to convert. I don't know why the Falcons just didn't take the points there. They're just trying to get fancy with it, and that would come back to bite them in the booty hole. 2nd and 10, screen for Todd Gurley, and he would go off to the races. 83 yards. Nobody can catch him as the Panthers offense finally does something productive. And the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Gurley with the score. We get to see the Brown thing, not his celebration. Way to go, EA. Fix your game. Now 13-10. First play of the drive for the Falcons would be picked off. You can't spell intercepted without the D. Roquan Smith with the play, as that fake field goal has really given Carolina momentum, and they were really starting to figure things out. Panthers would choose some clock, kick the field goal with Dan Bailey. 6-point Panthers lead. Falcons are going to try to drive down the field, hoping that they still have a shot. As Eric Dungey on 3rd and 8, he would convert for Donnell Pump 3, bringing it to the 48, and you're saying there's still a chance. 4th and inches. Atlanta will go for it, hoping to keep the drive alive. Alon Carrington would convert, but he fumbles the football. Harrison Smith with the force. Somehow Smith doesn't recover it. It goes out of bounds. Atlanta still has life. 3rd and goal. Here's Eric Dungey scrambling like he's late on a date. He would be sacked. Huge play for Cleveland Furl that will lead to a 4th and goal from the 13. Falcons need to get in the end zone, but instead Dungey's going to get it about 2 yards downfield for his running back, and Carrington does not gain much, and that would be all she wrote. As just an ugly game from both sides. Neither team wanted to win, but the Falcons wanted to lose more, and that's why they ended up getting the L. Really, everyone in this game struggled. Nobody for either team played well, and when I was looking at the scores throughout the league, there were some really good games this week, but this one was not one of them. I guess on the bright side, this game was down to the wire, but if you like somewhat offensive-minded games, this is not your game. If you like defense, then this was your game, as this one was all about defense. Checking out the rest of the league, the Cowboys are red hot after a slow start. They're playing some good football. Meanwhile, this season looks like a lost cause for the Bengals, 2-8, tied for the worst record in the OFL, as the Bengals are just going to be playing for pride for the rest of the year. Meanwhile, Dallas, in a 14 division where anyone can still win it, they're going to be fighting to get back to the playoffs, with the Giants playing some good ball, the Eagles and the Redskins still there as well. Dolphins and Chargers, one of the worst teams in the OFL, taking on one of the best, and the Dolphins barely survive as the Chargers unable to get the upset. Los Angeles also only has 2 wins. Meanwhile, the Dolphins set at 8-2, the first team and so far the only team of the OFL with 8 wins up to this point. Steelers beat the Washington Redskins. Steelers have made the playoffs 2 straight years and are looking to get back there again. Meanwhile, Washington, one of the most talented teams in the league, it just hasn't been their year. 3-7 so far. They're lucky that they're not in a very good division, as if they were in like the ONFC South, they would be screwed. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they are looking good, I believe now 7-3. Seattle Seahawks with an overtime victory over the Giants. Both Dwayne Haskins and Matt Ryan played very well. 5 scores for Haskins. Seahawks now 7-3, and the Giants are playing some good ball as well. Don't be surprised to see them in playoff contention, making some nice pickups such as Matt Ryan and Quentin Nelson. Very impressed with what head coach Greg Terry has done up to this point. 20-17, Vikings and Titans. Neither team scored in the first half. Then the Titans put up 17 in the third. Vikings answer of 17 in the fourth. And then Minnesota with an overtime field goal to win the game. As the Titans have definitely been a roller coaster this season. They're definitely going to be fighting for a wild card spot. Maybe not the division, but certainly a wild card spot. And it will be tough with that AFC being very deep and very balanced. The Ravens defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. Both of these teams are right around that 500 range. Both of them still fighting for playoff contentions as well. Baltimore, of course, was one of the worst teams in the league last year, and they're playing a lot better this year. Meanwhile, the Eagles got off to a very nice start this year and have really fizzled out after starting off 3-0, I believe, now at 4-5. 2 of the better teams in the LFL, Lions taking on the Jaguars. This is a game that I kind of wanted to see. And Jacksonville winning by 1, 21-20. Detroit goes down to 6-4, while the Jags go up to 7-2-1. They might be my pick to represent the OAFC and the OFL Bowl up to this point, as they're playing some good football. They almost made the big game last year. They made it to the OAFC Championship, got absolutely killed, and are going to try to get back this year. Cardinals taking on the Bills. Cardinals playing some good ball lately. Bills, a little bit of a cold stretch after their big start, but Buffalo does get back on the win column. I believe they're now 6-4. As wasn't a great year last year for Buffalo. They came in with pretty much no expectations, and they're playing some pretty good football. Texans taking on the Colts, a battle of 2, 4, and 5 teams. And the Houston Texans get the win as the Colts are on free fall right now, just falling down a cliff. Meanwhile, for the Houston Texans, they got off to a really bad start. Now they're 5-5, and the Texans are all of a sudden in playoff contention. They actually have a shot. Rams taking on the Jets. Los Angeles with a little bit of a scare. They do get the win as the defending OFL Bowl champions, still looking good. I believe they are 7-3. Meanwhile, the Jets 3-7. They are not looking too hot, and I don't expect to see them in playoff contention this season, as just has not been the Jets' year. Patriots taking on the Niners. San Francisco gets the win. New England season looks like a lost cause. They won their division 2 years in a row, but that does not look likely with the Dolphins playing a really good football. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they're definitely in contention for the wild card spot. They have had a roller coaster season, and definitely a big win for them here. Broncos beat the Raiders. Both of these teams are on mini winning streaks. I guess the Raiders aren't now. And both of these teams are still in contention for a wild card spot in the OAFC. It's going to be unlikely, but there still is definitely a chance. Denver made it last year, and they definitely like to get back to playoff contention. Oakland has not made it yet in the OFL. Next up, Chiefs and Browns. Cleveland gets the win. They're playing some nice football lately. Brad Kyle with a good game. Meanwhile, Kansas City, they are on a free fall of their own, sitting at 5-4-1, I want to say. They made it to the OFL Bowl last year, and they got off to a hot start this year, but they've lost a couple of games in a row now and are not playing their best football, and they're going to need to figure things out if they have a chance. Big blowout here, 35-3. Green Bay absolutely dominating Chicago, and it makes sense. The Packers are the number 1 seed in the ONFC. The Bears are the worst team in the ONFC. Chicago 2-8, Green Bay 7-2-1. Packers have made the playoffs, I believe, 2 years in a row now, and definitely should make it back. Lions are going to give them a run for their money in the division. And then the last game of the week, my team, the team that I've been using, the New Orleans Saints, with a win over Tampa Bay, 34-17. Big game for champ Britain, as the Saints are now 7-3, 7-1 in their last 8. And watch out for New Orleans. We will definitely be back. Definitely with the best head-to-toe roster in the league. You know your team is good when Trey Flowers isn't even starting. So looking at the schedule, we are going to be looking at Week 12 and Week 13. That is because next episode will be a stream. We usually watch 2 games, but instead of watching 2 games from 1 week, we're going to speed it up, watch a Week 12 game, see what happens in Week 12, sim a week, watch Week 13, and then check what happened. So I do sort of want to speed it up. I don't expect this season to end before Madden 20 comes out, but I do want to make it a little bit quicker. And then here a look at the standings, as definitely going to be a very interesting next few weeks. Plenty of teams on the cusp for playoff contention. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, have a good one.